My friend got revenge on his nosy racist mother on his wedding day. My best friend transformed his wedding into a huge revenge party. So my friend was together with his girl for a good 6 years at the time of the story. The whole story takes place in Germany, where mother-in-law's family comes from. My friend's wife's family is of Sinti background. Now Sinti and Roma do have a bad reputation here in Germany. They are called gypsies, and supposedly are all scam artists, who have no real home and travel around to be always 2 steps ahead of the law on their heels. You get the picture. But her family is actually really well off, in fact quite a bit richer than mother-in-law, but she did not know that, since instead of asking she decided that her prejudices are a better source of information than simply asking, since all gypsies lie, don't you know? Lives in Germany for well over 30 years and own their own company that produces motor parts for several big car and truck companies. Mother-in-law's family is typical middle class, nothing much to say there. Dad works an office job, and she works delivering drugs for a pharmacy a couple hours a week. She's always been a big pain in their butts. These are just a few of the stunts she pulled. The first year of the relationship she pretty much ignored he had a girlfriend, until she saw a photo and realized his daughter-in-law is a few shades too brown for her taste. She first thought she was Arabian and called her a sand N-word. Isn't she so lovely? Friend then explained her being Sinti, and she lost it even worse. It boiled down to her being a gold digger or a scam artist, and constantly switching between the two. But friend has a steel spine, and it ended in her being in a timeout for 6 months, which became over a year since every time she tried to force contact, the timeout started again at 0. Once contact was established again, mother-in-law had realized open warfare was not something she could win, so she decided to switch to guerrilla tactics. The absolute highlight was creating 2 fake Facebook profiles, one for friend, and one for his ex, with whom he had spent 4 years of his life. She sent back and forth texts for months, to create a fake affair. Thank God she made a grave mistake. My friend had 4 weeks prior to a 4-day business trip for his company. The texts basically claimed his ex had come with him and they had wild intimacy every night. What mother-in-law did not know was that my friend never went there. It fell through a week prior, and he took the days off instead to do a short trip with his girlfriend. So he had the best possible alibi for the time. Otherwise I don't know what would have happened on the day mother-in-law came into the house with printed out screenshots from that page. At first the girlfriend was devastated and pissed, until they found the messages about the business trip. At that moment both turned on mother-in-law, who of course denied everything. It landed her in 9 months' time out again. The rest until the engagement was mostly annoying, like constant hints. She learned her lesson about N attacks and racist rants at least, at her being not trustworthy, bringing up news stories that showed Cindy in a negative light etc., but since they were in low contact, she did not have many opportunities. Then came the engagement about 1 year before the wedding. Her family was over the moon of course, while mother-in-law had a complete meltdown over the phone. The worst sentence was she would stop this wedding and if it is the last thing she would do in her life. The actual wedding planning began, and it was a total crap show. When she was asked for an address list, she actually gave them false addresses, in the hopes once the cards would have been returned it would be too late to send a new batch to the actual addresses. Of course the cards came back within a week, and this time they were smart enough to ask someone else for the addresses, and simply did not tell her. She started a rumor campaign that was at least partially successful, so the contact with his side of the family got worse and worse. She tried to just cancel the flowers, but since the florist knew the bride in person he called her to confirm. After that everything was secured with passwords. This way they found out she also tried to cancel the venue, change the whole menu. Most of the bride's side of the family are vegetarian, and she tried to change it to an all-meat menu, and other shenanigans. Finally came the thing that made my friend and his fiancée snap and decided it is time to show the woman who is boss. He had found out, thanks to his brother, who had volunteered to work as a spy in the enemy camp. He acted like he was on his mother's side, when in reality he was firmly in his brother camp, that all the women on his side planned to come in black mourning clothes, to make it clear this was not a day of joy for them, but a day of mourning, since her son made the biggest mistake of his life. But since they wanted to embarrass her to the bone they acted as if they knew nothing, and decided to exact their revenge on the wedding day. Important, this was a good 4 months before the wedding, so it gave them ample time to plan. So the day of the wedding comes, all the guests have entered the church and are sitting down. The guests are informed that the wedding party would be late by about half an hour, but they would show a DVD in the meantime. And that DVD was explosive. They had collected evidence, and witness accounts detailing exactly how sneaky mother-in-law had tried to sabotage the wedding. It started with an account of the food deliverer that she had tried several times to change the menu. Followed by the florist story how she had tried to cancel all the flowers for the wedding, including a message she left on the answering machine trying to act like she was Dill, but everybody knowing her could hear it was her. Up to this point mother-in-law had been shocked into silence. But the next part would change that. The groom's brother had secretly recorded how she trash-talked and lied about daughter-in-law to everybody who would listen to her on Skype. Brother simply installed spy software that recorded everything, emails, Skype etc. and created a highlight reel. Once she started to hear those words she suddenly screeched like a banshee and stormed to the front to stop that DVD. But they had anticipated that, before she could get even close, 3 gentlemen closed in on her and told to either sit down or she would be escorted off the premises. The film only went on for another 3 or so minutes anyway, so till they had escorted her back to her place where was her family and all this? They had already had a full showing of the video the day before, but were sworn to secrecy. So they acted as normal as they could till the DVD started, then just shot daggers with their eyes. Now once the film was over, the father went to the altar with his wife and addressed the family of the groom. He told them the following: Our daughter could have accepted they do not like her, and had tried for years to get a good relationship with all of you, especially with girlfriend. Again, there are so many smaller things I had to leave out, but to no avail. She was either insulted or shut down. Finally they started to plan the wedding, and girlfriend was trying everything to ruin this very special day for the two, and they finally had enough. So the couple has decided your side of the family does not deserve to be at the wedding. I hereby inform you that there will not be a wedding today at all. Months ago they have changed everything to a different date. My daughter and your son have married a week ago at location and let you believe the wedding would be today. That way we could ensure there are no further evil plans to ruin this young couple's wedding, and we all had a wonderful wedding. Without any of you there, it was a day of joy, and a day where everybody was happy for the couple and supportive. Right now they are already on their honeymoon, and will return in 4 weeks. Since the wedding was so much smaller than originally planned, they had a way bigger budget for that. Once they return, they do not want any contact with any of you for a year. After that, they are ready to get into contact again under certain requirements, which you will be told once the year is over. The girlfriend will be able to confirm they will do this very strictly. Any attempt to contact them in any form leads to the perpetrator's year starting again at 0. I suggest you take the year to reflect on your behavior, and decide what is more important to you, to a friend in your life, or to treat my daughter badly, because right now he is ready to cut contact for good. But I talked him into giving you one last chance. My friend's family stayed very silent during this speech, probably shocked and embarrassed into silence. P.S. Mother-in-law was not the only one in the family treating daughter-in-law badly, but she was the reason for it. They are back in contact with most of the family, but definitely not mother-in-law. After the year was over, some sheepishly apologized and told the couple about all the lies they were told. But brother could slowly but surely, using his evidence, show the family how she triangulated, lied, tricked, etc. Today mother-in-law is a pariah for at least 80% of the family.